According to Epictetus, whenever planning an action, mentally rehearse what the plan entails. It just isn't true that bad things only happen to bad people. Good or bad, each of us is going to face certain situations. This exercise is all about facing these situations with the best of your abilities while leaving the outcome to fate. Let's suppose that you're considered for a promotion at your job. While we naturally think that our goal is to get the promotion, the outcome, of course, is not in our control. It can only be influenced by us. So you need to make your goal something that actually is in your power and not something that fate can rob you of, which in this case would be to put together the best promotion file you can before the decision is made. Now, you may get the promotion, but there are chances that you won't. The idea is not to absorb the injustice of not getting a promotion that was richly deserved, rather it's to employ the wisdom that sometimes things won't go your way even if you do your best, and regardless of whether you deserved to get the promotion or not. As we learn from the words of Epictetus, remember it's not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you're being harmed. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation, which is why it's essential that we not respond impulsively to impressions. Take a moment before reacting and you'll find it is easier to maintain control. This is simple advice, and yet it's really difficult, and yet it's very difficult to pull off. It's also very, very important. The idea behind this exercise is to rationally examine our impressions regardless of whether they're negative, such as insults, or positive, such as feelings of lust. We need to resist the impulse to react immediately and instinctively to potentially problematic situations. Instead, we must pause and take a deep breath, perhaps go for a walk around the block, and only then consider the issue with logic and calmness. Once you start seriously practicing this exercise, you'll see a dramatic improvement in the way you handle things, and you'll inevitably get positive feedback from all the others who also see those improvements in you. Epictetus informs us, for every challenge, remember the resources you have within you to cope with it. We should use every occasion, every challenge as a way to exercise our virtue, to become a better human being by constant application. Going by the previous example, it's very natural for you to feel upset for not getting a promotion that you thought you deserved, or being envious of your colleague who got that promotion instead of you. You might even be angry at your boss for overlooking you. Instead, by remembering your overarching goal, which is just to be a decent person who doesn't do anything that's unvirtuous or that may compromise your identity or integrity, you can let go of the negative feelings and take this situation as a learning curve and look for the ways you could improve your work performance. The truth is, all of us have a lot more self-control, endurance, and patience than we think we do. Let silence be your goal for the most part. Say only what is necessary and be brief about it. On the rare occasions when you're called upon to speak, then speak, but never about banalities like gladiators, horses, sports, food and drink, commonplace stuff. Above all, don't gossip about people, praising, blaming, or comparing them. Epictetus gives us the list of things we should not talk about. We may not talk much these days about gladiators, but we do talk about star athletes, movie and music stars, and other celebrities, instead of talking about difficult topics, because we've been conditioned to think that serious talk is boring, and at any rate requires more background knowledge and attention than most of us associate with good conversation. Epictetus also advises to stay away from the conversation that's concerned with gossiping and passing judgments of people. To indulge in gossip and judge people who aren't present to defend themselves simply doesn't seem to be the virtuous thing to do. Initially, this exercise will feel unnatural, but over time the habit will eventually kick in. So slowly change your conversational topics and respond less to gossiping and passing judgments, and occasionally introduce a challenging topic of your own that's based on something you've recently read or watched, and that you feel might lead to a mutually beneficial conversation with your friends.